guys, welcome back in. Hopefully, I'm not using a mic, so hopefully it works without a mic. Let me see if I'm live. I had a flow going too. I don't remember what the questions were. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me see if I'm live on YouTube. Let's see. And so I don't like YouTube because I can't put your comments or your questions up, and I have to keep scrolling back to find them. Let's see if I'm live. Let me know if you guys can hear and see me if I'm here. Thank you so much, Will G. I appreciate that. Can you hear me? I turned my mic off. I'm so the technical issues are terrible. They are terrible. And it's something with this mic because it did it to me a few times before. Oh, is this mic on? It's blue. Should I turn it off? Let me just leave it alone. If you can hear me, I'm gonna leave it alone. We had like 130 something people over there, and see you guys trickling in. Appreciate you coming back over. All right, let me see. Now I can't. What is going on here? All right. What questions do you guys have? I think I was answering questions about how to book a cruise with me verbally. I think that's where I left off. The question was asked, how can that mic sounded great? This mic, I'll just put it back up here. If it goes out, just let me know again. Um, hold on, let me see, because I can't even see the comments now. All right. Anyways, much better. Welcome back. We missed the last two questions you answered. So I think one of the questions that was asked, somebody was asking about how to book a cruise with me verbally. And I don't know if you guys heard all that, but I pretty much was just saying that the best way to contact me would be if you would be via email. That is the best way. Because I can't give pricing over the phone, or I don't give pricing over the phone because I like to have everything in writing. And my mic went out in Aruba. Oh, your mic went out in Aruba. I was like, was I talking about Aruba? um, so I was answering the question of how can I verbally, meaning can I call you to book a cruise? And I said, yeah, you can, but I'm rarely by my phone because I'm always on the go, or I'm either on the phone or I'm on a call or a conference call or a webinar, or I'm booking people or I'm editing or whatever. So if you ever call our business line and I don't answer, leave a message. I will call back as soon as I can. But email is almost always the best way to reach me. And I'm honestly to the point where I'm going to start probably weaning away from my phone line and use it only for appointment basis. Like if somebody wants to schedule an appointment to chat about cruising, because I'm starting to get a lot of people reaching out and calling. My phone line rings almost nonstop. And honestly, it drives me crazy because a lot of it, I would say 80% of the people calling aren't interested in booking a cruise. They're interested in talking with me, or they're surprised that I'm the one that actually answers the phone line. And I'm like, yeah, it's me. It's my business. I answer the phone. And so it becomes a lot of just conversations about random things and things that, um, you know, is not making me money. So I'm honestly thinking about, and that's the thing too, when you're kind of in, I don't want to say a spotlight because I don't like that term, but when you're, people want to talk to you. And I get that. I understand that. But I just don't have time to sit on the phone and talk, especially if it's not going to result in a cruise being planned or booked. But I do. I have clients that I talk to on the phone. They only talk to me on the phone. We schedule times to talk, things like that. But right now, especially right now, it's busy season. I get a lot of phone calls, and 80% aren't planning, don't have intentions to plan or book a cruise. So, and because I can't get pricing over the phone, or I don't because pricing fluctuates, I like to have everything in writing. And then I can't take payments over the phone because we are an online agency. We have to get a digital authorization in order to do payments. So if you're trying to reach me, whoever asked that question, um, the best way to reach me is going to be via email. And if we need to schedule a call, we can do that. All right, let me catch my breath. I don't remember what the other question was. And I'm trying to see if I can see what the questions are because I can't even see what's popping up here on YouTube. So let me see if I can go to my own live stream here and answer your questions. And if you are new here and if you just came over, we had 130 or so watching before, but if you just came over, I appreciate you guys joining in. I was going to just end it and be done, but you guys had some questions coming through. So I apologize if you already posted a question and I didn't get to it, but feel free to drop it back again and I will do my best to answer. So now I got to go back and scroll and try to find those questions. Let's see here. I'm trying to go to my live stream link. All right. But welcome into everybody that came over. I appreciate if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me. Okay, thank you so much. Six says you went out on the question about calling to book with you. Yeah, like again, you can call. 90% of the time I don't answer because I'm not there available or I'm not at my computer. Leave a voicemail and I will respond. And please, 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 please don't keep calling. Meaning don't call back to back. It is a business line. It is a business line. So if you call and it says we're unavailable, we're out of the office, whatever, leave a voicemail. We will follow up. And don't call expecting me to call you back, because I get that a lot too. I get people that will call and then they'll email me a week later and say, I called you, but you didn't call me back. And I'm like, well, what number did you call me from? And they give me the number and I'm like, hey, you called. You didn't leave a voicemail. Well, why didn't you call me back? Well, because this is a business line. You don't call Walmart and they don't answer and you expect them to call you back. That's not how this works. So do like the instructions say, leave a voicemail. We will call you back. But email is going to be the best way. All right, let me go back through and see if I can find these questions. Everyone's telling me that I'm back. Fam Lines, thank you so much. It says we missed the last two questions. I don't remember what the last one was, but we're going to get right back into it. Our Lives, Our Travel says my family's going on Carnival Elation to Princess Key and Celebration Key, and we have several first timers. Is there anything on that ship or those destinations that you would recommend we do? Carnival Elation is an oldie but goodie. Honestly, there's not a lot to do. They're going to have some of the same fun carnival activities. There's only one pool on that ship. I think there is a kid water slide now, but it's a really, really small ship. So I say just get involved with whatever activities that's happening through the Carnival Hub app. They're going to have a ton of activities across the ship, but as far as the amenities, that ship kind of lacks because it is one of the oldest in the fleet. But as far as Princess Key, it is, or do they call that one Princess K's? Princess K, Princess Key. I always mix them up. It is a tender port, so just know that you need to follow instructions on how to get to the tender. I recommend getting off early because it is one of those ports, and if you don't know what a tender port is, it's where the ship can't dock at a pier. And so they anchor out further away, and then they have small boats or lifeboats that'll get you to the island. And what happens is they have a ticket system. Although a client told me that Carnival's doing it digitally now. You don't have to go pick them up. I don't know. I haven't confirmed that, but I was told that they do it digitally now. And so you have to follow instructions to make sure you get an early tender. I recommend doing it early because what could happen is, and this happened to us this past summer for our group cruise, we were at Half Moon Cay, and we had some that were trying to get off and they had to slow down the tender service because I guess it was too windy. And so people that didn't have an early time, they weren't getting off until we were getting back on the ship. So recommend getting off early. But if you have kids traveling, get them into the kids club. They have amazing kids clubs, teens clubs for Carnival. Celebration Key is just truly a beach or pool day. You can decide which side you want to be on or spend part of the day at the beach, part of it at the pool, but that's really all Celebration Key is. But have a good time. Again, appreciate you guys all joining back. We have 70 people watching. Appreciate you guys being here. Big Mer says, great job, David Ruffin. You see him back there? Look, just chilling. David Ruffin. This is him all day. He's just asleep. He's just asleep. That's what he does all day. John Henderson, welcome in, says, what new ships are coming out in 2026 and which ones are you most excited about? Thanks in advance. New ships. I don't really keep up with this stuff. New ships coming out. The next new one coming out is Norwegian Luna, which comes out in March. I'm not really excited for that one, but I think I will be on it. I'm actually booked on Luna for Sea with Sea. Carlene, she has a group cruise sometime in 2027. I'm booked on it for then, but I might get on it sooner. I don't know what other new ships are coming out. MSC World Asia will be out in December. I will not be on board that one. I was scheduled to be on board, but they moved the inaugural sailing, and then I had a conflict, so I won't be on that one. But I don't know what other new ships are coming out. There's not as many new ships coming out this year as there was last year. I think Royal Caribbean Legend of the Seas will be out, I think in August, September. I can't remember, but yeah. Travels with P&B, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. It says, how do you collect credit card information, phone or form? I actually have a CRM that sends a secure link that guests enter their credit card information there. So I don't do anything through a form or phone. So the CRM has a secure credit card thing. And if you guys are new here, I am RacQuelle from MH Family Adventures, and this is my Monday midday cruise Q&A. We had a little bit of technical difficulties before, but I'm here to answer your cruise questions. But I'm dedicating this one if you're a travel agent, a content creator, or if you just have cruise questions, just feel free to ask. I'll be live for another half hour or so. Um, Christina Friendship says, have you cruised with Oceania yet? Not yet. They are on my I'm looking to find a booking for this year list. Let's see, but welcome back to everybody. Have you done the new Celebrity XL yet? If so, thoughts? I have not. I have not, but I know I'm going to love it because I loved Celebrity Ascent, and it is the sister ship to it. So I already know I'm going to love it. That's why I wasn't so pressed to book it initially, but I do want to get on it. I'm seeing a lot of great content coming out from that ship. Let's see here. Welcome in, Jaretha. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for popping in. Gaddis Travel says, is it safe to book an excursion in Belize with a third-party company? Now, Belize is one of those places that I would caution you on booking third-party. Now, I book third-party wherever I go most of the time, but I kind of caution you to do that if you are Belize. Belize is another tender port, and a lot of the places, a lot of the destinations or attractions that people want to get to in Belize are going to be further away from ports, like an hour away. And so I don't necessarily recommend third party for that because I've done third party twice in Belize, and both times I got back right before back on board time. Even though I thought I planned it well, it just didn't because of traffic or because of whatever. And then you had that tender getting back on. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I feel like the third party shore excursions give you better options. Um, I would only do it if you have a long port day. But other than that, I would probably skip it. I've had 2 close calls in Belize, so for that reason, that's a port that I would probably more likely book ship excursion versus third party just for that reason, unless it's something nearby the port. But every time I've gone, it takes me further away. Um, let's see here. Team Milton says, hi, for the 2027 Greece Group Cruise, if there are any cancellations, will you send notifications to your travel agencies and email recipients? Actually, send me an email. If you're interested, send me an email because I did have a couple of cancellations. I just haven't had a chance to go through my wait list. But if you are interested, send me an email. Christina says, hold on. In last live, I asked if you had done Celestial Journey Western. No, I did not do the Western itinerary, not yet. But I did like my Celestial Journey. I will be in Croatia. I'll actually be in Croatia soon. Game Changer says, annoying, my sister does that. Call, then leave a message, then call again repeatedly just today. No, I get people that will call 5, 6 times back to back. Just keep calling. And I don't like talking on the phone, period. So it's one of those things that I recognize as a business owner. I have to somewhat be available by phone, but it's just getting to the point where I think if I wasn't the one answering the phone, I probably wouldn't get as many phone calls, if that makes sense. But I think because people have learned that I answer the phone, I literally had somebody call me the other day and ask me which of my vlogs could they find something at. And they were like, well, which I saw this vlog, which I love the support. I love that you're watching the videos and watching the vlogs. But when you call me to ask me those types of questions, it takes me away from what I'm working on. It takes me away from the clients. It takes me away from everything. And then it becomes conversations about other things. And then ultimately I'm going to ask, hey, are you looking to plan a cruise to go to this excursion, or, did you recently book? Do you want to transfer it? And it's like, oh no, I book my own cruises. I do all of this on my own. I just had a question about this. Like, that's not like, I love to help, but that just drives me crazy when that's kind of where my time goes some days, and I just can't do that. So again, if the phone line disappears from advertisements and things, that is probably why. Let's see here. Sorry, scrolling. That's why I don't like YouTube, because I can't figure out where I left the questions. Christina says, I'm booked solo, Celestial Journey, Greek Isle, October 24th. Found you on YouTube later and recently looking for videos on this cruise. Nice. I enjoyed my solo cruise on Celestial. I really did. I hope you have a great time. AKA 1990 says, my first time on Celebration in a few weeks. Any recommendations for elevators? I'm used to the smaller Carnival ships heading to Cozumel, Honduras, and Celebration Key. Have a great time. Really no recommendations for the elevators. Just be patient. Just know that Embarkation day, disembarkation day, it's going to be pretty packed, pretty busy. Those elevators on Celebration don't seem to be air conditioned, so it could be pretty warm. I would say if you don't care for the elevators, try to get, closer. Like I personally like that deck 12 on Celebration because you're not too far from anything. So if I needed to take stairs, I could take it up a couple flights to get to the Lido deck. If I needed to go down to Grand Central area, I could just go down a little bit. So I like that deck 12, but there's really no tips for it. I mean, they're going to be packed. Disney Adventure comes out. That's right, Disney Adventure. Disney Adventure comes out in a couple of weeks, cruising from Singapore, I believe, right? DC On Demand, welcome and appreciate you being here. Thank you for your support and best wishes to you this year on your travel agency. Have you ever cruised out of Southampton? If so, what's the best way to get from the airport to the cruise port? I have not yet, but I'll be sure to share that when I do. Daniel Barberson says no third party in Belize. I had a cousin who never came back, got killed on the road. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. Now, not to take away from that, but was it because of the excursion, or was it just a bad area, or was it just something happening during that time? Because unfortunately, I think anytime you travel, you go anywhere, you always have this risk of something going awry. That is pretty, I mean, that's pretty terrible. Was it as a result of the third party shore excursion, or was it just wrong place, wrong time situation? I mean, that's terrible either way, but yeah. See what she says. Then we're back. We're back. Yes, we are. Rochelle says, does KHM have a department that helps agents with promoting cruises, like helping create flyers? I'm terrible with stuff like that, and I love how you promote your group cruises. No, they do not. They do have a marketing team. You can contact them. They'll try to help you, but they're not going to build it for you. This is one of those businesses where you kind of have to do some things yourself. They will kind of maybe give you some resources and tools on where to do that. I do all of mine in Canva, and you probably notice I use the same template for everything. So I literally tweak it because I built it and it's easy. I'm not going to keep recreating anything to make it look cute, because for me, it's not about being cute. It's about giving the information. But AI is also pretty helpful, pretty useful for doing that as well. But no, they don't have they do have a marketing team, but they're not going to necessarily help you with creating a flyer. Um, Daniel says, I have spent time in Belize and would just stay on the ship. We've had some really good times in Belize. If you go to the ruins, that's always a nice experience. We've done the rafting. That was a lot of fun. So I always believe you should get off in port and try to get a little bit away from the port. And I'm always talking about third-party excursions. So I say get off the ship, but just know that it's one of those ports that's going to be a little bit of a hassle because of it needing to tender. All right, let's see. Sorry, I'm scrolling. It says, yep, Belize was the only port so far where we were on a hope and prayer that we made it back to port on time. The excursions are so far where they are. They are. And like I said, because it's happened to me twice, I more than likely would do ship excursions moving forward. And I don't know what it is, but I think it's because everything's so far away. And it's also not a port that it seems like it's a really long port day. Like I think when I got to Belize, it might have been like a 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. port day. So it's not really a long port day. And I don't even remember if there was a lot of traffic. I just don't know why. But and the excursion might have advertised as 4 hours, but it just wasn't that. And it was just, I don't know. Game Changer says, question, curious what cruise line ship has the largest capacity to date? Is it a Royal ship? But I heard MSC next one will be Monster. I do think MSC is going to exceed Royal Caribbean. I think Royal Caribbean has the highest capacity at the moment, with Star of the Seas being 7,500, 7,400, I think. But I did hear that MSC is going to, MSC is trying to just outdo Royal in some areas. I don't know if they can. I love MSC. I don't know if they can in some areas, but it does. I did hear something about them trying to increase their capacity. Um, Francis says, I had a fantastic experience on Azamara in December. Yes, I loved my experience on Azamara. In fact, that's the series that is currently being released. My Azamara. I just released St. Lucia, which was a fantastic port. Loved it. Christina says, after watching your port days in Santorini and Mykonos, I was thinking of booking third-party shore excursions or Viator. Do you not recommend third-party? Oh, I absolutely recommend third-party. I did Santorini and Mykonos both times I was there, both third-party, and I think both through Shore Excursions Group, or maybe Viator. I put the links in the videos, but yeah, absolutely recommend it. Um, this is the thing though. Find out if Mykonos, because Mykonos you might dock or you might tender. We had an issue in Mykonos on Celestial where we were scheduled to dock, but then we wound up tendering because there was a larger Royal Caribbean ship that came into port. And so they allowed them to dock because it's easier to get, 4,000 people off at the pier versus, our 1,000 people or however many people. Just see whether you are scheduled to tender or not. For Santorini, this is the trick that I'm doing for my next group. um, so for the last one, we did a skip the cable car excursion, which was great. We had a great time. A lot of times the ships will offer some sort of transfer service to the Black Sand. And so I think for my Greece trip that's coming up, I plan to book that to get off the ship to get an early tender time because they do prioritize ship excursions versus third party. So you just have to make sure that if you are doing a third party with a tender port, that you give enough time to actually get on the tender. And it's unpredictable in Santorini because it could be windy that day and they could take time getting Mykonos too, because it's very windy in Mykonos. So it could take time to get there. So depending on the time of your tour, you might want to decide whether you want to do a ship tour. I personally would do third party, but my plan for our group is to add on the $25 transfer to the Black Sand Beach, do all of that, and then catch the $2 bus back to, oh my gosh, with the blue domes? What is the area called? Whatever that area is called, and we're going to make our own excursion. So you got to kind of finesse the system a little bit. Um, Thank you so much, Francis Harvey. Appreciate that. Says, have you ever done, PRN Crochet says, have you ever done British Isles? What cruise line would you recommend? I have not yet, at some point. Miss Tiffy PD says, not sure if my question was posted, but does NCL offer unlimited Wi-Fi like other cruise lines, or is it all minute based? What you get with your more at sea, free at sea, whatever they call it now, is 150 minutes per person. You can add on the unlimited pass. It can be quite pricey. I have a 7-night sailing coming up on NCL, and I added it on, and I think it was like $180 for one device. 150 minutes. And actually, as a travel agent, they give me an extra 150, so you get 300 minutes. But 300 minutes, that's not going to work. That's not going to work when you're a creator plus a travel agent. That's just not going to work. But they do offer it. You can add it on in the app. You can add that on, and then the more at sea, whatever. And yeah, mine was like $180 for a 7-night cruise. Sorry, I'm just scrolling. Welcome into everybody. I'm just still scrolling, trying to find questions. It's not as user friendly on this YouTube. Lizzie Johnson says, Happy New Year. What Royal Caribbean ship between Oasis of the Seas and Wonder of the Seas would you recommend for someone new to Royal? I would go with Wonder. I would go with Wonder or Utopia. Oasis is nice. I have I cruised Oasis? I haven't cruised Oasis, but I cruised Allure of the Seas. Which one's older? Oasis is older. I cruise Allure of the Seas, and it just need a little bit of updating in certain areas. I would say price point wise, Wonder of the Seas has some really good rates right now with it operating the 3 and 4 night sailings. I would say definitely check out Wonder of the Seas. Um, Francis says, would you recommend other world destinations? I'm still branching off myself and trying to explore more of the world. I really love Greece. I really, really love Greece. We are looking to do Africa. We're looking to do Asia. We're looking to get all over. As far as like recommending, I really can't until I'm there multiple times. But if anybody's trying to go to Greece, I love Greece, and actually I would choose Greece over like going to Italy. Although we have a Sisters Cruising Abroad group here in June, we're going to Italy. We're leaving Barcelona, and we have a few different port stops in Italy and someplace else. I would choose Greece over Italy any day. AKA says, thanks, I'm on deck 12 on celebration. Great. Let's see here. Just scrolling. Okay. Daniel says that St. Lucia video was great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, C, for watching. What do you love about hosting group cruises? For me, that's a good question. Travels with P&B. What I love about hosting group cruises, I'm actually transitioning into how I do group cruises. I think we just finished our fourth group. What I recognize that I like would be the education piece of cruising and going with first timers, new cruisers, or new destinations for people. So like the Greece cruise, I absolutely loved that. We had multiple Zoom calls and meetings about Greece, what to expect. And pretty much every port we had a plan. And we had probably half the group for each port that joined in for all of the excursions and things that we had. I like that. And it kind of is reminiscent of when I was a teacher and a school principal when you would plan field trips. And so that was something that I love to do, was to help plan the field trips and execute that. And so it's kind of reminiscent of that for me. So that's what I like. So I like being able to take people places that either they wouldn't feel comfortable going with on their own, or they just feel more comfortable going with the group. So I like that. So kind of the escorting part of group cruises. I'm personally and honestly not a huge fan of um, like I don't know what you want to call them, the hosting meetups. I'm not the most sociable person. I'm kind of socially awkward actually. And so to actually host like a meetup, that's not really my thing. So I recognize for me, it's the excursions and just the other activities related to the excursions and the travel portion. So I like that. I like the education piece. I like that. But I also love meeting new people. We've met some amazing people on board our groups. We've had some that have been on multiple of our groups. Fam Lions, they were on, which ship was that? Carnival Conquest with us. They just got off of MSC World America. They're booked for another group cruise. So we have some that just keep coming back. We operate a very laid back group too. So we're not a group that's going to have a whole bunch of boom, boom, boom activities. If anything, the activities are going to be excursions. We also don't do a lot of themes like we're going to dress this way. We're kind of what you see in the vlogs is really what it is. I mean, it's very laid back. But my favorite part is the education piece. So that's why I just announced a first timers on board MSC or first time cruiser period. Because I'm going to host some Zoom calls about what to expect, like taking it back, cruising 101. This is what you can expect on a cruise. And so that's the plan. We think we have 13 cabins booked now on that one. So I'm really excited for that. But I plan to do more groups abroad because I really enjoyed that as well. So I'm excited for our Sisters Cruising Abroad coming up in June. Excited for Greece in 2027. And I will be announcing another big one, but not till later this year. A. Matheson says, have been trying to find the blog you wrote where you weren't only talking about the ship you were on, but also the luggage you were carrying. It was a yellow carry-on. Probably my Alaska. It was level 8 luggage, if that's what you're asking. Level 8 luggage, and I think I put a little blog in there on the Quantum of the Seas. So if you look at the Quantum of the Seas embarkation day, I did put some information there. I also did it on Star of the Seas. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to stay live for another 10 minutes or so, but appreciate it again for apologies for all of the technical difficulties, but we had 126 watching, so I appreciate you guys coming over. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, I would appreciate it. And if you are new here, I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and this is our Monday Midday Cruise Q&A where I answer your cruise questions, but I'm also opening it up today for content creators, travel agents who have questions. I know everyone's in this point of the year where they are either aspiring to do new things, try new things, dip into content creation or a travel agency or what have you. And so if you have general questions about that, feel free to ask. Somebody said, yes, Mykonos is windy. Mykonos is very, very windy. Yes. Ia, thank you so much. Ia is correct. So yeah, so the plan for like my Greece. So if you guys, and this is also Paul, Travels with P&B. What I like about groups. So for instance, my Greece trip for 2027, we have 55 to 60 cabins right now. It keeps teetering. I'm taking that same exact itinerary in May. So I'm going to be going abroad, experiencing the ports, because 4 of the ports for that sailing will be brand new to me. So I like to, for me, it's like you can't teach what you don't know, what you haven't experienced. So I want to go experience it and then bring it back to the group, have the vlogs, the content. That also helped with our Greece trip, our last Greece trip. And so I'm testing out some excursions and things like that. So that's also what I like. So I'm thinking for Mykonos that it would be get off the ship, or Santorini, get off the ship, take the cheap $20 transfer to the Black Beach, spend the morning at the beach, make that part of our day, and then catch the $2 bus from that area to Ia, have like an hour and a half of, fun time, free time, capture the blue domes, maybe have lunch or whatever, and then catch a 2 hour bus back to the main port area and catch the tram down. So yeah, just trying to be strategic and things like that. But that's what I like. But yeah, Ia is correct. Jamie says, when do you plan to take the family on Star of the Seas? I'm thinking I want to do that ship in 2027. I'd love to see your overall review. It's not a priority for us right now. Because I've already been on Star of the Seas. And you have to remember, like, as much as I want to get the family on board, if we get on board, it probably will be less content because I feel like I kind of covered everything before. What I would share would be their perspective, their thoughts on Star of the Seas. It's honestly not a priority right now. We probably would get on Legend of the Seas before Star of the Seas. Christina says, thank you for explaining Santorini Mykonos. I was a little nervous about booking third party. I watched your solo and group cruise to Greek islands. I love them both. Yeah. And like I said, I did third party for both of those, if I'm recalling. Yes, I did third party, but I was a little stressed as far as getting off the ship. And it's easier when you're by yourself because I just went down and was like, hey, I got an excursion. And, they were able to just slip me on. But if you have a group, that's not going to work as well. Um, oh, Game Changer says, yes, Team Greece here. Absolutely. Cruising Greece is way easier than cruising Italy. It is, and it's a different vibe. It's just a different vibe. Uh-oh. Hold on, what happened? Yeah, it's just a different vibe. Welcome into Lara, Washington. Good afternoon to you. Savvy says, how do you decide between doing a group versus a sail with me cruise? I see you advertise both at times, and I think I'm going to stop doing that. So the difference is, usually a sail with me is going to be something that I've already experienced, and people either commented in the vlogs or whatever, and they're like, oh, I want to try that cruise. I wanted this. So it's like, hey, I'm going to get back on board. Sail with me. And it's less stress for me because I don't have to really create the content because I've already been there, done that. For instance, Holland Koningsdam. I did Holland Koningsdam last year, vlogged it, had a lot of people interested in booking. I think we had 12 to 15 people that joined me on board for a sail with me. The sail with me is very laid back, and I just pretty much shared with them, hey, this is what I'm doing in port every day. You are more than welcome to join me at any of these port excursions. This is what I'm doing for dinner every day. You're more than welcome to join me for dinner. And I had probably 6 or 7 that joined me for most of everything. Some I saw the first day, didn't see them again. So it just varies. Also, I will select something as a sail with me if it is my first time experiencing it, and I feel like a group would benefit by cruising with me. But I don't want the added pressure of having like the group meetups, the group shirts and this and that, whatever. So we'll just say it's a sail with me, and I do the same thing. I share what I'm doing for dinner. I share what I'm doing in port, and you're welcome to join me. And of course, hang out on the ship. We have a sail with me in a couple of weeks on board Scarlet Lady. And the same thing, I share it out with a group. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Feel free to join me. I've already had some response that, hey, I'm joining you every night for dinner. That is perfectly okay. That's a good time to have conversations, So we do that. And then the ports, because they're, Key West and Bimini, a couple responded that, yeah, they're going to get off the ship with me so we can get seats together in Bimini. So it's just like a chance to hang out, and it's less stress. But I'm there to answer questions. I'm there to help. And some people just have that comfort of knowing, oh, she's on board if I need her, or if I have questions, or if I want to do this excursion, and I tend to not do third party, and so then somebody might want to join in. But I'm thinking I'm going to start just calling them all group cruises because there is confusion about what is what. Typically, a group is going to have more structure in the sense of we're going to have some Zoom calls. We're going to do like a meet and greet before the cruise. We're going to have probably group t-shirts. We're going to do group pictures, things like that. Whereas a sail with me, all of that doesn't happen. And honestly, the sail with me's are kind of dictated by people asking, hey, I want to cruise or I want to try that. And so I'm like, oh, well, just come sail with me. That's kind of what it's about. without the stress of an actual group. Groups are a little more stress. Not, I'm not going to even say stressful. Groups require a little bit more work and planning than a sail with me. A sail with me is just what I'm going to do. Period. I'm not going to really ask your thoughts or input on what it is that you want to do in port. This is what I'm doing. Join me. Sail with me. This is how I cruise. You know how I cruise. You know the types of things I like. Come sail with me. Come experience it with me. Um, Game Changer says, I'm giving you your flowers. You do a great job for group cruises. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. Um, Unlearn and Eat Travel says, I've flown Frontier, about to take my first Spirit flight. I'm curious, my backpack barely fit in Frontier size. Do you think it will still work for Spirit? Frontiers is a little bit tighter than Spirits, slightly. I would say maybe reduce a couple things in there, but Frontiers is tighter than Spirits in general. But I fly Spirit and Frontier often. I'm fit. Shamika says, I'm excited for more abroad. I am too. And that's really what gets me excited. Actually, I was just telling Ron, I was like, I forgot how much I do like to edit when it's something I want to edit. So, like my St. Lucia vlog, I think I edited that thing in like an hour and a half. It was just like, oh, I forgot this was a fun tour. I did this and I did that. And it's just the going abroad is more exciting for me because I do a lot of the Caribbean, a lot of Bahamas, a lot of Mexico all the time, that it just kind of gets redundant after a point. I'll edit, I'll put the content out there, but it's just not as exciting for me anymore. So going abroad, like I said, I'm planning a huge trip right now, and I'm just like excited when I have the time to, oh, I'm gonna take an hour and just lay on the couch and start YouTubing and finding information because I YouTube as well. I look to find information about ports and destinations and things, and I kind of piece together my plan based off that and my own research. And so I enjoy that, and that makes me excited for cruising. Let's see here. I'm Fit. Shamika says, can you post a link for waitlist for Greece? Thank you. I think it's still active. If you, I'll try to post it, but I would say just email me. Just email me. I started going through the wait list when I had cancellations before, and I can tell you already the top 3 or 4 people that I messaged, they were no longer interested. So I don't know how effective a wait list is. So based off the fact that the first 3 or 4 that were on the list, if somebody is truly interested, just send me an email. I will go through the list too, but um, yeah. Linda, welcome in, says, I'm wanting to get into vlogging / posting on YouTube. What advice or recommendations do you have for someone just starting out? Editing videos, thumbnails, etc. I would say first off, keep it simple. Um, if you have a phone, like I get a lot of questions on what type of, right now I'm streaming from my phone. People will be like, what type of cameras you use? You don't have to do anything fancy. You don't need all the mics. My mic didn't even work earlier. So you don't need all of that fancy stuff. Just keep it simple. Figure out what you want to focus on. Are you going to be lifestyle? Are you going to be travel? Are you going to be, and kind of start there and then branch off if you want. I would say be strategic in how you vlog so that it can reduce your editing time. That's probably my biggest tip for anyone getting started, because I can tell you that I spent a lot of time editing, going through content in the beginning because I filmed everything. You also want to make sure that you have a balance of enjoying whatever it is that you're vlogging and creating content for. You want to have a balance of creating plus enjoyment. So that's also a big thing for me, is that I truly enjoy what I do, and I enjoy the cruises and trips and things. But in the beginning, I was doing more filming than anything, and I really wasn't enjoying it the way I am now. So editing videos, I use CapCut. I keep everything simple. I do not have any. I know there's some creators, shout out to them for learning these tools, that use like DaVinci, and they use all these fancy softwares and they edit from their computers. I don't have time for that. So I started with iMovie, which is whatever iPhone's basic editor thing was. My first, I don't know, probably 100 or so vlogs were from iMovie. Nothing fancy, just put together the clips. Now I use CapCut because I find it easy to use, and you can use the free version. I think I have the paid version. I pay like $15 a month or something like that. It's pretty easy to use, very simple. And I like to edit from my phone because it's on the go. So I'm constantly on the go. If we're going to a basketball game and Ron's driving, I might be sitting there editing while we're in the car or whatever. So I like doing it from my phone because for me it's easier. So you just gotta find out what works for you and just be consistent. That is the biggest thing, is being consistent, because sometimes people will say, oh, I didn't get views, I didn't get likes. If you go back and check our earlier vlogs, we got like still 200 views, and 200 views over 5 years. So you just have to kind of keep at it, and then something will stick. Charmaine Event Chronicles says, started my agency on YouTube 1 year ago. I have 22 subscribers, but I haven't announced either on my personal social media because I want to attract the right audience. Is this the best approach? Um, Honestly, I don't think announcing on social media is what's going to get you subscribers. Posting on YouTube, people are going to search out for you or search out whatever your content is, and then you'll be in the algorithm. You having a channel and then going to Facebook and say, hey, go to Facebook and follow me, or go to YouTube and follow me. You have to remember there is an audience for each platform, and I'm still learning this. So you have people that, like, if I go on Facebook, for instance, we have 75,000 followers on Facebook. I recently did an announcement over there like, hey, we're trying to get to 50K over on YouTube. If only a fraction of you went over there and subscribed, we would be at 50K right now. We have 75,000, almost 75,000 on Facebook. If it was just that easy, you have to remember that the people that are on Facebook are Facebookers. The people on TikTok are TikTokers. The ones on YouTube, YouTubers. And you got your Instagrammers. So you have a different audience for each platform. Yes, I share the same thing on each platform. So you're going to get what you're going to get, and that's it. But there are some creators that create differently for each platform. So when you're trying to bring in an audience, going to Facebook and telling them to follow on YouTube is really not effective. You just have to post and share on YouTube, and then the YouTubers will come and subscribe and follow. You might get a trickle down effect from social media, but that's not really an effective strategy to get people coming over, because they're following you on Facebook because that's what they like. That is their preferred platform. That is the content they like from you, or whatever your connection may be with them. Hope that makes sense. Um, but yeah. I would say, and just announce too that you have YouTube. People will follow because you said you had it, but you also want to make sure that the people that are following you because they like that content. People on Facebook are following because they like cruise content. So I would think that they would like cruise content on YouTube, but really what it is they like the short content for Facebook. They don't care for the long format videos, which you have a different audience there as well. So if you go on your personal Facebook page and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel, you might get 100 followers, yes, but are they engaging? That engagement is important for YouTube, because if they're just sitting there, eventually YouTube will, if they're sitting there idle, eventually YouTube will unsubscribe them. We go through these bouts, and other creators can attest to this, where you're about to hit a milestone, you're about to hit 50,000, and then all of a sudden you lose 200 subscribers because YouTube goes through and they see, oh, these people have not engaged with your channel, or they're bots, or they no longer have that email address, and they remove them from your subscription list. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. Welcome in, Alyssa. Welcome back in. Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. On the go Theo says, I really want to cruise Croatia. A little jealous. Yeah, I think we talked about that. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Let's see here. Savvy Voyager says, thank you for the explanation. I'm too shy to host a group cruise. People don't believe it. I'm shy. I'm very introverted. But honestly, what's happening is I feel like I'm attracting more people like me. So that's a good thing. And where I don't, that's where Ron balances me, because Ron is the talker. This last group cruise, he did way more talking than I did. That's just his thing. And there was a group of people that, would always want to talk with him, and they know me. I'm going to sit and have a little conversation. We're going to talk. We can take pictures. We can hang out, but don't expect me to just be talking all day. It's just not in me. But it's in him. So that's kind of where we balance. And you can host a group cruise and be shy, but I think just being forthcoming and saying, hey, if you're expecting me to be partying, people already know. If you're talking about going to the club, I'm not going to the club. If you're talking about going to a deck party after 10 o'clock, I'm probably not going. But I also don't do those things in the vlog. So I feel like you got to be who you are, because that's what people respect. If I were to turn my group cruise into this party cruise, that is not who I am. That's not what I do. That's not what you see. That becomes more stressful. So just, if you are shy and you're reserved and you're this and that, and that's what they see in the vlogs, they clearly want to cruise with you because that's what they like. I think people like to cruise with me because I don't mind branching off, doing different things and other things. I don't think people cruise with me because they think I have a bubbly personality and they want to hang with me. I just don't. I just don't. I think people want to cruise with me because she's going to take me important. We're going to have a good time. Or she's going to give me all the information that I need to cruise and have a great time and not stress. I don't think people cruise with me for my personality, just being honest. Um, Let's see. Travels with PNB says, I'm finding that I tell people where I am sailing and they ask for the information that end up booking. As you said, no pressure as it is, not a group cruise. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what happens. Big Murph says, I can't wait for the group cruise in July on Carnival Celebration. Can't wait to have you on board. And actually, Big Murph, I was going through my list of guests. I think you're the only one that'll be new to our group. We have right now, I think 45 or 50 people. And I think you are the only one that has never cruised with us before. So that just tells you something. You get the same people that come back that one. We might have one other person, but the bulk of those people have already cruised with us before. So that's what I'm starting to like about the groups, is we're attracting the same people, and that makes it easier. Like this Christmas cruise, we had quite a few people that had already cruised with us or about to cruise with us, so it just makes it a lot easier. Not that I don't like to meet new people, but it's always nice to kind of know who you're already dealing with. Erica says, for the Insta360, where do you find how to pull videos and edit? I'm stuck. I don't know how to walk you through that. I mean, it's all in the app. The app did recently update, and it's not the most user friendly. I liked it before. They will allow you to do AI edits. I don't know how to guide you through that over a live stream. It's one of those things where you're just gonna have to play with it. So an Insta360 isn't like if you're vlogging from a camera from your phone, where you can take the SD card out and put it in your computer, and then you have the content. You have to first what do they call it? You have to reframe the content on your Insta360 and then export it. So that's the trick. You can't just take your SD card out and think you're going to edit it. You have to reformat it first and then put it out there. I would say pull up some YouTube videos. I can't really direct on how to do that over a live stream, because it's something that I'm not very proficient in, and I have to play around with it. So I couldn't give you good expert advice on that. Christina says, do you book cruises for clients only in the States or Canada as well? 99% of my clients are from the US. I do have a couple from Canada. But if you are booking and you live in Canada, it'll have to be in USD, not Canadian dollars. Do you ever get tired of editing your own videos? All the time. All the time. Editing is the part that I hate. Like, I just don't like editing. I just don't. It takes too much time, and I just don't have the patience to sit there and rewatch myself again. And I just don't care to do that. But that's part of the job. Your 100th cruise, is that going to be a group cruise? It is not. But my 100th cruise is going to lead into a group cruise. But the 100th cruise will not be a group cruise. The destination that I'm going for my 100th cruise will become a group cruise. And I'll probably be announcing that group cruise before my 100th cruise to kind of build anticipation. So stay tuned. If you're a channel member, you already know. And if you're a channel member, you will have first dibs for that group cruise. And actually, I got a lot of questions as soon as I posted it to channel members, like, is this going to be a group? Are you announcing the group? No, because I wouldn't feel comfortable going to this destination without experiencing it first. Charmaine says, the editing is killing me. I'm still learning and I'm slow to get my content out. Yeah, and sometimes it just takes, it takes a while. You have to find time to edit. That's why I like doing it from my phone, because I could be in the kitchen frying chicken, and in between flipping the chicken, I'm like, okay, I got 5 minutes. Let me go ahead and, edit this frame. And it just allows me to, wake up first thing in the morning. Okay, let me do a little bit of editing. So I like it because it's always in my phone. It's always on the go. Texas Cali Travel says, I love CapCut. Yeah, CapCut is so easy. It is so easy. Let's see here. Our Lives Are Travel says, this is great advice for vlogging. I'm a small YouTuber and still technically new, and I could use these tips. Absolutely. And there's other creators in this chat that could chime in too. Again, I don't think I'm a pro expert at any of this. I'm still winging it and still learning, because it's constantly changing. Content creation is constantly changing. Thank you so much for being here, Game Changer. Appreciate it. Yeah, you see, he's been napping this whole time. Satin Jazz Lady says, we love talking with Ron. He's hilarious. Yes. Elisa says, your personality is adventurous. Yeah, it is. Says, no question, just wanted to share respects for your level of work. Thank you so much, JM Dominic. I appreciate that. Judy Smith says, where is the best place to obtain information on your channel or wherever for senior solo cruising? You can check out our website, Major Adventures Travel, if you're trying to contact me. Our channel, you're on our channel right now, which is MHFamilyAdventures. Sorry, Sig. She's not a senior, but I would also say reach out to Sig the Solo Cruiser, because she is also a solo cruiser, as well as Carlene, See It With C. She's in the chat. They are also solo cruisers, solo travelers that you might want to connect with as well. I do a lot of solo, but I'm not strictly solo. They are strictly solo. In fact, I'll be on SIG's Explore Journeys cruise, which is luxury line, in April, and I'll be on Carlene, See It with Seas, um, group cruise, I think in October 2027 or November 2027. So yeah, contact them. They are truly, truly solo. I do a lot of solo lately because it's my job, but I'm not truly October 2027. Thank you. I'm not. I guess I could consider myself a solo cruiser, but I'm not. That's not what I truly advertise because I do solo, but I'm also more family. I just do solo because everyone can't go with me all the time. It says new to your channel, not really tech savvy. Yeah, it takes a little bit. I will say this though, you guys. As much as I love to chat and talk to you guys about this here, I get a lot of individual questions about how do I do this? How do I do this? Can you walk me through? Can you guide me? Can you be my coach? Unfortunately, I can't do that only because I don't have time. As much as I would love to help with those new creators, those who are stuck with editing, those who are eventually I will have some sort of coaching course or something. I just physically don't have the time, and that's why I like to do it this way. So if you are starting to already think, oh, let me message her this question, please, please keep me on your positive side because I will have to say, unfortunately, I can't schedule I've had people say, hey, would you mind scheduling a 1 hour consultation call with me to help me get started with my travel agency? I would love to do those types of things because, again, I'm an educator by nature. I love to teach. I would love to. I just do not have the time at this moment. Like, I'm literally on my computer, on my devices all the time. If I'm not that, I'm with the kids, or we have Special Olympics going on, or I'm traveling, or this and that. So as much as I would love to, I just cannot commit to it, which is why I do these Q&As to kind of help a little bit. So I hope you guys can understand that. Let's see. I love when people say this. I love your show. I love that. I love it. I've been getting those comments a lot. It says, love your show. Thank you so much, Adrian. There's so much great information. I now want to explore more of the world on a cruise. Absolutely. Well, reach out when you're ready to start planning. Q, welcome in, says, I need to test out editing on my phone. I started out with iMovie, but been using Vegas Pro for 20 years. See, I don't even know what Vegas Pro is, but it sounds like it's probably complicated for me. I like to keep it simple. iMovie was wonderful. And then I just said, I gotta start taking it to the next level. And CapCut helped me take it just a little bit. Actually, they kind of look very similar. CapCut just has a few more features. And so that's what and people were like, oh, your edits look pretty good. I keep my editing simple. I just don't have time to do all the extra stuff. And maybe if I did, maybe I would get subscribers faster. But I feel like my content is, you know, it's enough. Let's see. Thank you so much, Mickey's Adventures has matched the thumbs up with the number of participants. And we have 132 people watching. Appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to go 10 more minutes because we had that little delay with my microphone. Pack My Case, welcome in, says, hi, just discovered you by chance a half hour ago. Well, welcome for a live stream. I think that's a record. Says, when I was searching Azamara and now you're live, it was meant to be. Thank you so much. Well, I hope you subscribed, and I have a lot more Azamara content coming. I'm really excited for this series, and I'm hoping to squeeze on another Azamara this year. I just got to figure out when I can squeeze it in. Erica says, you're good. I have so many videos and pictures, just stuck not making it as a creator. Yeah, I have tens of thousands of videos and pictures in my phone. I was just telling a group of a group of content creators that I chat with that I'm probably just going to start unloading stuff that's in my phone. Like, just kind of scroll back and say, oh, this is a vertical. Let me just post this, some random stuff I feel like I don't post enough on social media. And that's why we're kind of slow growing there. I feel like if I posted 3 times a day, 4 times a day, I would have, more following. And it's not always about the number of followers, but what people don't understand is the number of followers increases your engagement. It also increases your monetization, so you're getting paid. So, I mean, we do this because we like to share. We do this because we like to give information. We do this because we love to cruise, but we also do it because we love money. So, just to keep it real, like, we like money, and so the more subscribers, the more views, the longer the views, this and that, you get paid. And I mean, ultimately, I can continue doing this as long as I can, as long as I'm continuing to get paid. Because as you guys know, I retired early as a school administrator. In fact, I was just talking to Ron. I said I gotta try to get some CEUs or something because my principal license will expire, I think, next year. And so, see, I'm not naive. Like the business is going well, content creation is going well. The agency is going well, but just as fast as it grew, it could, not do so well. So I have to always have a backup plan. So I have to keep my licensure, intact. So I have to, I guess, register for a class or something. I don't know, but we'll get there at some point. On the go with yellow says I use iMovie and CapCut. I like editing on my iPad. Yeah, an iPad works too because it's very portable. Q said he'll keep Carlene's I guess group cruise in mind. Yes. Traveling type welcome in says thank you for always being so helpful. You never gatekeep, and we appreciate that. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I try not to gatekeep. I mean, I feel like there's enough for everyone. Honestly, there's enough as far as like there's lots of agents in this chat. There's lots of creators in this chat. I feel like there's what's for me is for me. What's for whoever is for them. That's just the way I see a life. I mean, it's like I'm not me talking about it or sharing out others. It doesn't hurt me because what's for me is going to be for me. Life Well Traveled says, I love your channel, by the way. I'm trying very slowly to become a YouTube content creator. Can you be successful by just doing raw videos? In fact, that's what YouTube's favoring right now. Post those raw videos. Post the raw videos. That is what YouTube is favoring. And it's hard when you haven't been I don't like raw creator, when you haven't been that and you try to transition, because what happens is, like for me, I tend to put a little bit of music in my videos. I tend to edit them a little bit more. So when you have always done that and then you go to raw, the perception is your content has gotten lazy, you don't care to edit this, that, but truly it's because YouTube is favoring raw content. And if you don't know what raw content is, that's just you just vlogging and posting it. Like you're not doing any edits, you're not doing any voiceovers, you're not doing any music behind the scenes, nothing. It is or B-roll or anything. You're just posting it as you filmed it, period. YouTube is favoring that, it seems right now. Unlearn and Eat Troubles. I appreciate these Q&As immensely. Well, thank you so much. Glad they're helpful. See what C says. Traveling type. What boat company did you use for that Anguilla? And is that right? Anguilla excursion. Will I be there this year? I think I'll be there. I think I'll be there. I think I'll be there on Cheryl's cruise, maybe. Heinz Adventure says, just got out the Scarlet Lady. Your review helped. Have a wonderful time. I'm glad to hear that. Have you tried Opus for a short creation? I did not like it. In fact, I was just having the same conversation with another creator. I didn't like it. So if you guys aren't familiar with Opus, it takes your long format content and it breaks it down into shorts. I tried it and I think the quality for me just wasn't on par with what I would normally do for a short. So I didn't like it. It also breaks things up, but it zooms you in, because if you created the video horizontally, now it's vertically, it like smashes everything in. So I just didn't like the way it looked and it didn't work. I tried it for a few weeks. It didn't work for me, but it's working for some. How do you gain confidence as a creator? I'm still very nervous about putting myself out there, scared about not being well received and rejection, trying to not let my ego impede me. I get comments all the time. I get comments, I just ignore them. You get the fat shaming, you get the, oh, you're not pretty, or you're this, or, you decide that people are going to think and say what they want to say, but you're going to have that core group of people that are just going to love you. So you just have to have the confidence. I feel like for me, what's helped me be confident is that, again, I'm a former educator. And so I'm used to talking. I don't necessarily care to talk to people, but I can talk to the camera, if that makes sense. So it kind of flows a little bit more naturally for me. But as far as having the confidence, really it's the experience, because you can have confidence and get on a cruise ship and it not come across on camera because you have no clue how to cruise. So I think the more experience you have with whatever it is that you're creating content for will help build that confidence and allow that confidence to show on camera. If you look back at some of my earlier YouTube vlogs, I was not very confident, but I was also a newer cruiser. And so I was trying to learn and figure it out as I was doing it. Now that I know cruising like the back of my hand, I can get on a cruise ship and talk to you very confidently about cruising. And that helps build, subscribers. That also helps with my clients, because a lot of my clients come to me because they see the content and the expertise there. So, um, not only with the content creation side do you need to practice per se, but just kind of knowing what you're talking about with whatever it is that you're filming and vlogging about. And the more experience you have with that element, it will come through in the vlogs naturally. Lisa T says, so happy for your growth. Watch when you were first on YouTube. Yes, I recall. I appreciate you being an OG here. Thank you so much. Um, let's see here. Texas Cali Travel says, this is my first time joining your live and I love it. Well, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I know we had some glitches in the beginning, but this is usually what we try to do on Mondays. The next person says, I have such a hard time remembering to post photos on social media. I have so many backlogged. Post them. Even if they're backlogged. I just literally just posted some photos today because I couldn't think of anything else to post. So I reshared our Carnival celebration flyer for our group cruise to try to get this finalized. And I shared some old pictures from 2022 and 2023. So people don't just post it. Just post it. Sapphire says, I've been watching for about a year and a half or so. I appreciate that. Charmaine says, I also overanalyze how I look on camera. You can't. You can't. I'm the same way off camera as I am on camera. I don't do makeup. I don't do clothes. I'm not a dresser. I'm not. And I feel like that makes it easier to create. I personally, and shout out to those who do it, I could not imagine doing what I do and creating content if I have to get glammed up every time I turn the camera on. I could not. I don't even want to get glammed up to go to the store. I don't even want to put clothes on to go to the store, let alone let me put on some makeup and a nice outfit and this and that. So, I feel like if you go into it being yourself, it makes it so much easier to stay true to yourself, but also makes it easier for you to connect with people because they want to see you as you are, not as you are putting yourself up in front of the camera. So yeah, I don't like the way my voice sounds. I think I have an annoying voice. I get so many comments about how soothing my voice is. In fact, I just told Ron, somebody just commented that, I think last night. I said, yeah, he's talking about how soothing my voice is. And he's laughing, and I'm in my mind, like I've always hated. I've never liked the way my voice sounds on camera, but people love it. Some people love it. They're like, your voice is very soothing. I don't hear it, but what you think is a flaw, somebody else is going to absolutely love. Alrighty, let me see. I think I'm about down to the bottom. Celeste, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. We just returned last night from our second half of your Christmas group cruise. What a wonderful time. I highly recommend traveling with her. We appreciate it. It was a pleasure cruising with you too. And I hope you had a great time on your back-to-back on MSC World America. Elisa says, the more you post or go live, the easier it can take a while to find your rhythm and your people. Yes, and Elisa goes live often, a few times a week, right, Elisa? In fact, she's going live tonight, so check her out. She says, yeah, it does get easier. It does. Like even people talk about being nervous filming in front of people. That gets easier too. Like at this point, I don't care if I'm filming in front of people. They're going to watch. They're either going to watch me live, they're going to watch the video later, or they're going to watch me as I'm filming it. So it doesn't make a difference to me. Linda says, I just posted some videos of ships arriving in Port Miami from November. Nice. Yeah, just posted. I love your shorts as well, especially the one where you come down the stairs and dance step down the hall. Oh yeah, that. And sometimes I just have these ideas random. I just woke up. I said, I had saved that sound to use, and I said, I'm going to do it this morning, and I did. On the go with Yellow says, laugh my butt off. I like clothes, but I also like comfort, and makeup has never been my thing. Yeah, yeah. I don't like clothes. I don't care to shop. I don't care to. You've probably seen this dress a dozen times recently. And it doesn't bother me. Erica says, raw, that probably won't be good. My people always having a conversation, 98% of the video has to mute the audio. Oh, but people like that. But if you are filming, like I personally, if you're sitting there having a conversation, I change it because I go to YouTube not for the entertainment of what's happening with the people. It's more so the information. So you have different pockets of people watching for different reasons. Somebody would love to sit and listen to whatever your family's conversation is at the dining table. Somebody would love to just sit in and watch that. Me personally, I would change it because I'm going to channels for information. I'm also one that I think we were just talking about this with a group too. If you start off and it's like, 3, 4 minutes of music, I'm probably going to change it because I want to hear a voice. I want to hear some talking. I want to hear some information. But again, there's different pockets of people that like different things. So try the raw content with the original conversation there. You're probably going to get views. But then when you swap it up and do something different, those same people might not view that content, which is okay too. Mickey says, I feel the same way, Raquel. Don't care for makeup or glamming up. Yeah, not at all. Erica says, yes, hate my voice. That is a hard part to get over, hearing myself talk. Yeah, you get over it after a while. Um, Michelle says, thanks for being yourself. I appreciate that. Uh, Hansara says, what is the best transportation from LAX to cruise terminal for Princess? I recommend, if you're not doing the ship shuttle, to just take an Uber or a taxi. I don't know of any consistent third party transfers for LAX or Long Beach. It seems like most people just use the ship's excursion, the ship's transfers, or Uber or Lyft. What's the longest cruise you've ever taken and where? I've only ever done 7 night cruises. That's the longest. But the bucket list cruise that we're doing this year for the 100th cruise will be longer. Thank you for arranging our family cruise on the celebration last month. We loved it in the ship. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing. Heinz Adventure says, I'm trying to build my YouTube page this year, working on a theme song, and I updated my logo. That's a start. Wife, not a fan of being on screen, but sometimes she will join me. And that's fine. Like, Ron is rarely on camera. And people ask about that all the time. So whatever works for you and your family, make it work. And don't ever force anything. Because like you probably noticed, like our kids aren't in vlogs as much anymore. I don't force it. Like you want to be in the camera and you want to film, then you're going to do it. And I feel like that just kind of helps us sustain because nothing's forced. Like we do what we want. And there's been times where I go and I'm like, I'm not going to vlog. I'm not going to, so just do what feels natural, what feels right. On that note, what feels right now is for me to get on the couch and rest for a little bit before I get back to work. So that is what I am going to do before Jill Marie comes in here, because today was the first day back to school. So she has about 40 minutes before she comes through the door, and she's a whirlwind when she comes through the door. So I'm going to take these 40 minutes to chill on the couch and just breathe for a minute. Heinz Adventure says, my husband's not a fan on being on screen, but occasionally you will see a quick shot of him. Yeah. And it's not that Ron's not a fan of being on camera. Like, he doesn't mind it. He's just, he likes to work, so he works a lot when he cruises. He just doesn't, I want to say he's there for more entertainment than information. And our vlogs are more about information. So he'll pop in from time to time, but usually not too much. But appreciate you guys being here. This was a long chat. Sorry for the technical issues. I will be live again. Oh, actually, I will not be live on next Monday because I will be coming back from a cruise. I'm actually preparing to cruise in a couple of days. So I will not be live next Monday, but I will be live the following Monday and then the week after that. So when I'm not cruising is when I will go live on Monday. So if you go to if you turn the notification bell on, you'll be notified. But if you go to the live tab on our YouTube, you will see where we go live. So you can go ahead and just turn those notifications on, and it'll go live hopefully on Facebook, because I'll get this platform or this microphone updated so that we don't have this issue again. But I appreciate you guys all being here. I hope you guys have a great week. And next vlog, actually, I will have my not top. I'm going to rank every cruise that I took this year. That should be out tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm actually editing that as we speak. So all 22 cruises, I'm ranking them. I'm trying to keep it as quick as possible to keep it under 30 minutes. So just kind of ranking those. That seems to be a trend of what people are doing from their travels from last year. So might as well hop on and just kind of share my thoughts on each cruise. So not the top 12 like I did on social media, but just ranking each cruise as they were. So that'll be out tomorrow or Wednesday. And then on Saturday, because right now I'm kind of toying with the times that I want to release vlogs on the weekend. And it seemed like this past Saturday, doing Saturday morning worked better than doing Sunday afternoon. So I'm going to try again Saturday morning to release to release Dominica. That is the next port for Azamara. So stay tuned for that. So lots of editing to do, lots of cruise bookings and helping people plan their cruises coming up. So got to get back to it. But appreciate you guys being here. Let me go ahead and get on the couch and rest for a little bit. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hopping over to YouTube. You guys have a great week, and I will see you later.